Hey, what is up, guys? Wallow J here. I'm here with my co-host Miguelino. Miguelino, say what's popping to the peoples.
Let me get what's popping from the people's bed. I had a copy, great.
From them. They're popping to you
Yeah,
now.
I don't know what he did.
It's
Anyway.
been a
Our
while.
other co-host, the Dream. Dream, say hello to the peeps.
Hello to the peeps. Glad to be here.
And our other co-host, Egg.
This
Say
guy.
hello.
There's like a lot of people.
Hello.
Doing good.
And Dream, do you want to introduce our guest and do your voice?
Oh, it's
yes.
which one? Which guest?
Both.
And in the bottom
Not
right
you.
corner from the grappling hour, Raf Esparza.
Nice. Thank you, guys. Welcome to another installment of the Grappling Hour. It is a pleasure to host you all here. No, Egg was telling me off air. He's like, you're not in charge on this one. And I got to tell you, it is okay. I can appear elsewhere and not be in charge. I'm perfectly fine with that.
All right. Our other guest. Go ahead, Steven.
Oh,
Take it
sorry.
away.
You meant this other guy that's here.
Yeah.
Man, out of Atlanta, Georgia, representing 10th Planet Jiu Jitsu, Atlanta, Professor Ose.
Oh,
Ryan Aiken.
That's me.
Woo!
Oh, it's my brother.
Listen, we were talking before you all got on,
I
and
gotta
we were
work one
watching
out
your
for that.
matches again, and that raw emotion, bro. When you beat Mourinho, it was like that scream. I was like, yeah, you let those motherfuckers know what's up, man. That was so intense. I was like, yeah, that's what's up.
Yeah.
That's what's
yeah.
up. How are you feeling? What came over you at that point?
So, listen, man, we've been for the last like 6 years, our gym's like primarily focused on EBI, not points tournaments. And then, I would every now and then I do these ADCC trials that would come in, and we'd have to kind of focus on that, but it would still be secondary to EBI, right? And so like leading up to EBI Absolute, I felt all the preparation I could possibly need. I also felt zero pressure because it was the Absolute. So it's like, I might win, I might not, and then I won that and I was like, hell yeah. And then I have 2 months to basically prepare for ADCC, because along with an EBI Absolute win, I guess you get you're almost guaranteed to get an ADCC invite. So I got that invite, and then I basically had 2 months to really try to dial in. And what that meant was like wrestling, which I don't like wrestling, man. I'm sorry. Like if I did, I would have done it in high school, but it's always just been jiu-jitsu for me, bro. And I see the utilization, don't get me wrong. Like I absolutely see why wrestling is necessary, but it doesn't change the fact that I freaking hate it, dude. And so we had to do a lot of wrestling, a lot of leg grabs. That camp was exhausting. I actually had to dial down the amount of rounds I was doing because it was so intense. And the reason I bring all that up is because all I really wanted out of the ADCC trip was to submit somebody in front of that crowd. I just wanted to submit. I knew it was a tall order to try to win by points or try to win the tournament, or to submit everybody. But if I could just submit one person in front of that crowd, coming out of this kid from Atlanta that really had no plans to do ADCC ever, like didn't really know it was a thing, and then I got that submission. That's what that was, man. I had all this I had all this doubt leading up to it, but then like I just want the submission, like please, and then to find out that it was a number 2 seed that I was going to have to fight the first round, it's like I knew that there was still a lot of pressure, but I was like I just got to go for it, I just have to go for it. I cannot try to play a strategy and all that shit. Like I just have to try to grab him and rip something off him, and that's what I like. That's what I was always scared of when I was a points fighter. So I like that I am now one of those guys that can just grab and pull, So yeah, that was a dream come true.
So if I could, pardon me, gentlemen, but as part of my research for doing this, time with Professor Oz, or Oz, pardon me, I'm not really good with that word. I listened to Rafa Esparza's interview with you, with the grappling hour interview, and you a couple months ago said, like, all I want to do is I want to go there and I want to get one submission. I want one cheer, one like eruption from the crowd, and you did that, sir.
Yep.
In less than 2 minutes against the second seed, you did that. And so I just want to hear, was the cheer, was the eruption, what was that as satisfying as you thought it was?
Yeah, that was everything I could have dreamed of, man. I had a lot of I actually had several dreams. This was so weird to me, like, because even before the bracket unfolded, like, I had a dream that I knew I was gonna have to fight one of the top seeds, and I was like, in my head, I was wondering who the top seeds are. And I was like, obviously Giancarlo, obviously maybe J Rod or Jacob Couch or someone, but then I knew Pedro Marino would be in there too. And for some reason, I had several dreams that it was like, I'm fighting Pedro Marino. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, when I found out that was who my first match was against, I was blown away. And it was funny. I used to have dreams that I would win CJJ too. And it's like, I'm just like having these dreams that come to me and tell me something's going to happen. I'm not saying I'm like, I don't know, like in touch with
Mystic Mac.
That shit. But yeah, no, like it did happen. I literally had a dream that I was fighting Pedro. And that was crazy because I used to have matches against him, and so I knew that he would probably underestimate me too, because he popped my knee like 6 years ago in the gi. He choked me at like no gi pans, and Flow Grappling was quick to share that one, believe me. So to finally have this, culminate to this, like, and then also like that is what gets the fans cheering and stuff. Like, dude, like that was a dream come true. And I feel like I really represented my team out there. I was kind of a glass cannon in the grand scheme of things, but that was still like, it was a mission accomplished, man. Like I had a target and I hit the target, so I was so proud of that. I walked away with zero regrets. Just experience from that ADCC.
And you got your get back from that dude.
I got my get back. There's probably one more get back that I got to do, and there's only one show to do it on. And it's probably going to be his pond, unless he wants to come do BGF, but yeah, I gotta go to who's number one probably.
But,
So,
if he wants to do a qualifier, I believe there's one still open in Nashville and one in Vegas. If he wants to run it back with you.
Well, yeah, we'll see about that. I'd like to do it on the big stage, whether it's in PGF itself or, in who's number one or something,
Right. That's what I mean. If he wants to get into the PGF, he's going to have to do a qualifier.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah. So, because you're in.
Yeah, I know. I know. That's what I was saying. I didn't know if you were saying that I got to do the qualifier or something.
you should show
I was like, I ain't doing the qualifier. Bro.
That'd be the way to find out.
Bro. That dude, if he wants to run it back
bro.
with you, he's going to have to do a qualifier.
Yeah.
So then I had a question, I guess.
Wallow said he's in, so that's good now. We're okay. I'm not getting in trouble.
We've been talking about
We
that.
announced it like 2 weeks ago.
Okay, just make sure. Hey,
Yeah.
I'm scaredy cat now,
I had a question though about the match with Pedro, and so I guess you kind of answered it that you were just kind of selling out and going to be just like grabbing and pulling for something. But I've noticed that you guys, and I'm sorry if this may be, giving away any sauce on stuff or whatever, but it looked like you went like a single leg X kind of play with like the double overhooks on the ankles. But then as soon as you switched to like a double outside kind of position. do you think that that's a superior breaking position for where you were at, or
Absolutely not. My wedge sucks, and Sean calls for the wedge for me a lot, and my wedge is like I'm still working on the wedge. It's really hard to not lose the knee line and the rotation that guys use to respond to the wedging, the reaping hook, and what makes the wedge successful is having a good control with your knees are they're like they got a scissor kind of, and so my controls just kind of trash, especially if guys are throwing Vaseline on, if they've shaved their legs, if they rotate really wildly and stuff, so that just felt right to me in the moment, and that was kind of a la my teammate Chase Hanna, that's his shit right there. So I was really proud to be able to pull that one off.
hey, listen,
He almost got that inside heel hook on me. He was close. I was sweating, but I stifled that one, real quick and just rotated with it, So
yeah, you kind of followed it through and then ended up catching him on the backside there, and he didn't, or the other side, he didn't kind of see that you're going to slip the elbow back on him. It looks like when you watch back on it.
yeah,
It was crazy though, dude. Like for real, just seeing it just play out and everything and watching it back for you. I know that had to be like the best feeling in the world as
best,
somebody, you know, that's
best,
the
yes,
competitor himself in some ways. Like that was it. That was like a dream come true kind of moment. No matter, if you planned it or not, you got a win over one of the best guys in the world on one of the biggest stages, man. And so I'm very happy for you, and I'm very proud that you're, a 10th planet representative from Georgia, like myself. Like
hell yeah.
you are the tip of the spear, man, and we all look up to you in that way. So thank you for doing what you did.
Thanks, Steven. That means a lot, bro.
For sure, bro.
Appreciate you. And I like seeing you move so far into the CJI and shit. It's gonna be crazy when you're like the buffer bros.
I'm ready.
Up
I'm
there.
not ready, but I'm getting ready. I'm working.
Yeah.
Hey
I'm
man,
stacking
a rising
reps.
tide, rise all.
Look,
Lifts
I
all
never thought
ships,
I'd be
man.
here in that way either. I just love to compete and had a love for professional wrestling and, being part of the show and stuff like that. So like now I get a chance to like blend all my favorite things together. And if people like that, then I'm willing to keep doing it for sure.
So,
Ralph,
so
you got anything
Ryan,
for we've been commandeering all the time. I mean, let's you got anything for Ryan, Raph?
no, that's what I was gonna
course.
say. I was like, hey, Ryan, like, hey, what do you want Raph to know? Because I mean, he is gonna be the guy that's highlighting you. I mean, he's the pre-show and the post-show of the PGF. I mean, he's the guy that's gonna tell your story.
That's
I
true.
mean, you already had a great interview with him beforehand, which I loved. I listened to it again today. But what else does he need to know? What do we need to know?
Well, I mean, shit, like I guess like from a story perspective, it's not like it's not like I'm one of those kids that was born in like a lot of poverty and went to Cicero Costas or something, and found greatness through being connected to a village that their community like solely sought to dominate the jiu-jitsu circuit and stuff, and that's like one side of the spectrum, right? And then the other side is like, you have like rich kids out there whose parents have like funded their entire jujitsu journey and given them everything from like moved them around the country to train with world-class people. Even some Brazilians, just because you're Brazilian doesn't mean you're broke. Some Brazilians like came from money in Sao Paulo, and were given really good places to train and stuff. And me, I just came from your most basic like middle class family, and my dad had me cutting grass when I was 8. I was forced to like work in a koi pond business trying to like I was working with a Mexican crew, like Mexi crew, when I was like 15, coming home covered in quickcrete and shit, like and so I was taught to like work hard and stuff, and I wasn't like given like like anything in life, and jiu-jitsu is no different. It's like the moment I dropped out of college, it's like I told my dad I didn't want to work for his business and stuff, which is just like wholesale DSL, kind of boring, right? And like I was like a IT guy on the phone, right? And when I dropped out of school and I didn't want to do that, I wanted to focus on jujitsu, and I could pay for that from bouncing and teaching kids and stuff. It's um, like I was having to work for everything. I was having to find, side hustles and everything to be able to afford to train and compete. And I wanted to do it all staying in Atlanta because the little bit of support that I did have was here in Atlanta. And I just always felt close to the community here. And every now and then, like I considered maybe like going to like another gym and somewhere else and stuff. But dude, like if I did that and then COVID hit, like I don't know, man, that would have probably destroyed me. Like I can only imagine how many people fell off that dream when COVID hit, So my whole point is that I feel like I literally had like the most like basic hand, dealt to me, and I feel like I've been lucky because Sean came here to Atlanta, and without Sean, I don't know if I would have been a kid that achieved that dream. I would have been having to open a small gym and having to just go through the motions that I feel like a lot of other people have gone through, in Georgia and in other states and stuff like that. I've seen it. I've seen guys fall off the circuit, but I've been able to stay in it longer because Sean moved here. I believed in Sean, and I found those little ways to make money to get by, until I started winning. So, yeah.
Well, that's wonderful. I won't be using any of that, but I think I've gotten your essence down into about a sentence and a half, or maybe just a quick tagline, which is Ryan Aiken, Brazilian rich, knows Mexicans. So
just
I feel
say,
like between
just
those
say
two,
Nutella. Just say Nutella, bro.
Nutella. I mean, the nice part about this is, Ryan, I know you. I'm familiar with you, obviously, through the interviews that we've done. You have a very good story that's easy to communicate. So winning EBI is kind of dope. Being at ADCC, also super dope. What really becomes cool is what I like about the PGF from my experience and what my side is. I come in kind of knowing a majority of the athletes, but then you throw all that out the window because then it's a whole new experience. Like you guys are all going through something. And what is nice is that if we are doing jokes or we are doing things, at least we kind of know each other and there's a rapport. It is a little bit more difficult when you don't know the person and you're just like, I hope they really like this joke. We'll see what happens because I am not hard to find. So it is going to be somewhat easy for them to find me. And for the most part, everybody seemed to have a pretty good sense of humor. So I felt pretty good about that on the last experience.
Hell yeah. Yeah. I'm excited about it. It's I don't really like Vegas, so hopefully we don't have to like go out and stuff. Like we just get to stay at the house and go to the venue and go to the house. But
do I have news for you? That is precisely what you will be doing. The amount of time that you have that is free is minuscule. You might have sometimes earlier in the mornings to do some kind of training, but that schedule, listen, dude, Joseph Jackson was kinder to the Jackson 5 than the PGF schedule is to everyone else. Because, like, dude, Joe Jackson would basically be like, hey, you missed that turn, Tito. You do not miss that turn for us. Like, you get on that schedule. And my favorite thing was we'd finish, I'd get exhausted, and then I'd look at everybody and I'd go, oh, we got to do this again tomorrow. And we're doing the talking stuff, which is physically draining, but you guys are competing. So your body goes through several different things of training a little bit. So that means probably drilling with your coaches and your team. Then there's obviously the competition, nerves on high. Then there's sometimes talking to us where, you know, I'm just going to tell you this right now. I don't care if you are tired and I have to tackle you myself. If I want you on the show, I'm going to find a way. I don't know how to do it because you're a big dude and I'm not afraid of using blow darts to kind
We got
of.
you, Raph. You're okay.
Thank you. That's all I
We got
want.
you.
It's just now that they're a bit like heavier and bigger. This is out of my wheelhouse, guys. Listen. A couple of the guys, I thought at least I got a good 2 minutes before. Now I don't know, man. Now they're a little bit too heavy for me.
We'll pull in Miggy. No one realizes Miggy is the biggest of all of us. We're good.
Beautiful, Miggy. You're in charge. Thank you.
Ed, go ahead. You
Miggy
wanna
doesn't want
hear
those
something?
problems. I don't know why y'all trying to put my man on the spot like that.
Well, I don't want to say that, but like it was so funny that
I'm not gonna fight you, Ryan. I'm gonna talk
Like-
shit though.
Jiu Jitsu. Like when I interviewed him during,
I'm used to people talking shit, bro. Like
ADCC. He
That's
didn't
the game,
understand how big I was. He's like, "What? You're always behind the screen." So I never realized how big you are. Like, brother, just wait till you see Miggy, because Miggy's ginormous.
No, I got a traumatizing story. I got to roll with Ryan one time. I'll never forget. I tried like a single leg, I think, and Ryan literally looked at me and was like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "Oh my gosh!" And I was just shitting bricks, dude. Like I'm still shitting bricks, just seeing that there, just knowing
He
that
doesn't
Ryan
remember
himself
that
is
at
a
all.
giant.
Miggy. He's
Thank
like, I
God.
have no
When did you
recollection.
come through,
I have
Miggy?
no memory of
Bro,
this
I
scrub
know,
trying to
bro.
grab me at
Forever
all.
ago, dude. I'm still traumatized.
Well, now,
Ever
Miggy,
since then.
now you have to like bring
Oh,
it back,
Lord.
man. You gotta
I'm
earn
about to
it back,
hire a
man.
guy to show up to the PGF and act like he's gonna rob you guys. He's like, "Oh, I'm here to cause harm." I'll be like, "I got this. I will just do a single leg." And Ryan's gonna be like, "Damn, that's a really good single leg." I remember that guy had a really bad one before. Maybe that'll like redeem it. But dude, no, dear Lord, I'm still trying. I'm shaking. I've been pulling guard ever since, man.
I feel that.
It's been rough.
I hate wrestling too.
That's how
So-
bad your single leg is, Miggy.
Horrible, bro. That's what made Ryan really hate wrestling. He's like, wrestling sucks. And weird guys like this show up and do this.
Little leg grabbers.
So pardon me, but like,
Sorry,
Ryan,
go ahead.
no, it's all good. I just I saw you had a Instagram post from earlier today that was really.
Oh God, you're gonna make me cry. Fuck.
Shit, me too, bro. Why you gotta post stuff like
Oh,
that?
shit.
You
We're
threw it out there.
recording this,
sir.
right? Yeah, we're live.
You
right?
threw it out
Let's do
there.
it.
No,
I
Brian, you
mean-
wrote this stuff. It didn't you wrote very nice words. I was going to bring it up too. I thought that was really cool. You did a good job to your team and you wrote some really cool things about them. Like, take ownership, dude. That's really cool. That's a really nice thing that you did to give back to those people, because people don't always see the team that goes with you. So I thought that was really a stand-up thing you did, man.
Yeah.
I mean-
I wish I could do this. Like, I try to do this every time, honestly. Like, there's been a lot that has gone into this over the last like 15 years that I've been doing this, and I think where it all converged to was actually with ADCC, because I feel like the EBI and all this stuff, it's like, I always owe it to my 10th Planet Atlanta crew and stuff. But what was interesting was with the ADCC, like people from my old gym Alliance and people from like other gyms that around Atlanta that I've trained at, like showed up to ADCC, and like, it didn't really set in because it's not like I saw them in the crowd at the stands. But then when I got to the airport and I hop on and I'm getting ready to hop on my flight, and I run into these guys I trained with like 6 years ago, like Vinny and Bixon. They and then there were some other guys like Zach and Chuck, and stuff like that. And when I run into these guys, I'm like, dude, tears just started falling, bro. I was just like, holy shit, like these guys came all the way out here and saw that. I know that they'd go see ADCC anyways, but I got to do this in front of them and make them proud, because these guys are true fans. They are true fans of the sport. These are the guys that would be doing what I am doing right now if they were younger, and they wanted to do this when they were younger. But then, like, the fact is, it was so hard to be able to do something like this in the state of Georgia when they were younger.
So listen, I'm sorry to cut you off, but I want to say for a fact, 2008, I left South Georgia and flew to San Bernardino, California, and started my career because there literally wasn't anything south of Atlanta that you could do to train.
Yeah.
So I said what I said earlier because I mean it, dude. I read this post and
I
I'm
know.
tearing up a little bit right now too, because
Yeah.
it means a lot to a lot of us that somebody made it, bro. Listen, I
Yeah.
tried. I tried trials 3 times, got put out, didn't make it, didn't get my shot ever. So yeah, all respect to you. You went out there and you put it down, dude. And all the different teams, all the different people, you showed that respect to everybody along the way. And I understand, again, somebody who's had to move a couple of times, what that feels like. You know, there's this coach and this team that built this part of you when you weren't ready for that. And then when you needed this part of the game, there were these people that came along and fed you that and kept you full. And now you're at the part of the game where Sean and the guys in Atlanta are pushing you to that elite level of the game where none of us have been before, really.
Yeah.
So man, it is. And that post was really powerful. And I'm glad that it is being highlighted, you know, for a lot of people to see, because that is what it's all about for all of us at the end of the day, you know. Is to be able to leave something better for the next group that comes through behind us.
Yeah. And I definitely wanted to pay my respects to the people that did, like yourself, that came before me. You know, Chris Moriarty, Alec, Tex, you know, like so many other guys that came before me that were like, while they may not have directly impacted this, you know, they definitely indirectly, because they were the guys that I looked up to, you know, and I know that some of the similar struggles that I've run into are struggles that they ran into, and constantly having to try to push through it. Like, Steven, what were you doing for work that allowed you to like get all the way out there?
So that's the thing, is like I literally sold my stuff that I owned basically to have like a little, you know, pot of money to go out there. And I was like working any little odd job. Sometimes I worked at this little sandwich place washing the dishes just so I could make some food after training to eat, and go back and sleep and get ready for the next day. I bounced. I heard you say bouncing. I did that a lot because that's after training hours. I could do all my daytime training that I needed to do with the pro team in the mornings. I could do my cardio and whatever, like technical training in the evenings, and then go to work, you know, and make a few $100 a night, bouncing and, you know, doing that thing to be able to like feed the, you know, the dream. I've had several different shitty jobs that weren't, you know, very fun. I went back home and cut trees down for, you know, some summers and stuff like that a few times with my uncles to make some money when there wasn't a bunch coming in the other way. So yeah, you know, and if it wasn't for my wife, you know, I probably wouldn't have made it as far as I did, even because she helped once I wasn't able to keep going by myself. You know, she funded a lot of the stuff you know, with her career.
Yeah, that's the thing, is a lot goes into this. You know,
For
there's
sure.
a lot of sacrifice, and even if you didn't make it all the way, like in some of these other guys didn't make it all the way, they still impact somebody that becomes the tip of the spear on the next generation, you know. And so a lot goes into this, and George is just interesting because it's like caught in the middle of this spectrum where it's like, it's not like a village of, you know, Brazilians that are like, you know what, this is what we do. Like Manaus, we're all fighters, you know, we send people to the UFC, you know, we're just a fight farm, you know. And then it's not like Arizona or New York or wherever AKA is, and like all these super teams like Alpha Male and you know, South California. It's like, dude, it's, you could throw a rock and hit like a world-class gym, you know. It's like, and it's in New York, it's like, yeah, okay, you know, you gotta walk everywhere, but yeah, it's like you could just go everywhere. So
I don't know about that, because the one thing that I saw from Flow Grappling was, it was like ATL versus the world, and I was like, wait, hold on, I don't got any beef with ATL. What's happening here? But I like that Flow, the way they presented that headline. I just go like, am I supposed to have beef with them? Because like, wait, is civil war happening right now? Nobody told me. I'm very confused. I like most people. I did want to bring this up because the mood was too high. So you guys can maybe see this on my side, but Ryan, I went to go look for your match, and I don't know if you've seen this, but I can kind of put this on this screen. But if you see right here, it was hard to find your match, because if you're looking for Pedro, they have misspelled it. so that if you're like trying to be like, man, I know Ryan beat Pedro Marino, I should look up Pedro Marino's name.
Of course. You know,
So
It's an
like,
inside
the same
job.
shit. It's the
I
same
guess
shit.
the
Dude,
guess
I
the
don't have a
question
BJJ Heroes page, and you look at this guy. He's got a winning streak for like 20 fights or what, maybe just 10, but it's a long winning streak. And then you don't even see this L. You don't see shit. Like I don't have a BJJ Heroes page. I don't have beef with the BJJ Heroes guy. I hope he like I
Do
even
you want
added
us to
him
put
on
in a good
Instagram.
word for you or something? Because
Please,
I'm
God,
surely-
please, Jesus,
Yeah,
man,
bro.
like freaking like I'm
This is
tired of
Professor
waiting.
Oaks right here.
Yeah, man, they don't know what
Shit.
they're messing with.
Like,
that
man,
was
yeah.
that was an inside job, bro. The Brazilians are after you now. Like, I hope you're not doing any more IBJJF tournaments because the moment you walk on,
You're
disqualified,
10th
bro.
planet
The
and you're
moment
from
you walk
the
on,
South, so
I just have to say, as somebody who relatively will do comedy here and there, that one was served up to me on a platter where I go, I don't have to do anything. They did that one. That one's easy to do. And I had people throughout the whole week when we're doing these marathon things, I had competitors sending me like misspellings. At one point, I think the people who were running the social media for ADCC were so tired, and understandably so, but they go, are you guys ready for ADCC 2014? And I go, oh, they're just tired, dude. I don't know that I want to make fun of that. Like, I'm sure I fucked up some kind of space and time being on this amount of hours. So
Yeah.
that one's a little less there. This one's just more of a, well, that's kind of funny.
Yeah.
Well, the commentating team, I mean, the only thing that they said about you was like, oh, well, he's a 10th planet guy. You know what that means? A funky guard. And I'm like, that's all you got? That's all you fucking got?
Yeah, well, unfortunately, I don't really play a lot of like rubber guard and stuff, so I
We
don't know if that
know.
like throws curveballs their
and
way.
you don't even got to get locked down, do you?
Okay,
I mean,
listen,
hey,
listen.
let's be nice
listen.
to the
I'm
ADCC
sorry, I'm sorry. I
commentary
didn't
team
mean-
because they are friends of this group somewhat. At least one of them are.
I've
I'm
been
friends with
working
everybody
on
that
my-
I
Hey,
can
listen, I'll put it out there.
Ryan's
am
guard's
friends-
trash. That's what we're saying, right?
Trash.
I am friends
Wrestling
with,
is trash. Guard is trash.
He's the worst guy at this competition. I don't even know.
I will put it to you this way.
I'm sorry, Jake. I mean, we used to love you at least. I don't know.
He's fine.
Sorry.
I just tell you this, as somebody who has worked commentary, it is a very difficult job. And especially when the parts are moving around you and you don't know who's who. But I can tell you this. I think that when you're doing it, you just you go into stereotypes sometimes. Like you get into that world of like, uh-oh, you know what 10th planet means. And it's like, I mean, look at the guys from your 10th planet. They're not going to be that easy to describe in that quick amount of time. Like your core group of people are very, very good at what they do, and they have some versatility to them. So I just always think like try to find the one or two things and harness that and get there. And what's happening is if you go to the UFC, they have someone giving DC notes. Like they have somebody who watches tape for him. We don't have that. I've seen what they pay. They do not make a lot of money. In fact, I was offered paid to do ADCC commentary before very kindly being told, no, thank you. So when I agreed to the rate, and I was like, that's fine. It's not a great rate, but at least I understand it's doing a function. It's just, yeah, I would wish they would have said stuff. But the good news is you made it so quick, they didn't have much to talk about anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was it Joseph or Watson that was doing it,
So
right?
Jake Watson, I think
Jake
he might
Watson.
have been doing yours as well. Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I'm gonna shadow box the shit out of him then.
Nah, he's cool, man. Like he's cool. We get along.
No, Jake
would-
is. That's why I said that. I'm not gonna actually box him.
No,
just
Jake's
shadow
one of
box.
the more
You know,
apolitical
I'm
people
gonna
in the
throw
sport.
fake punches at him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yo, do that. That would be great. I can tell you guys this though. If you are doing that, obviously do what you can, whatever. We just on our side, I purposely in our fight companions, I like not hearing their commentary because then I'm not shitting on them unwittingly. Like there are times where I think Jake was wearing a tie one day and I almost out loud said, nope, wrong tie. And I go, I don't want to make him feel bad. Like I don't want to be a dick about it, but I just saw the suit and tie combination. I was like, nah, it's not right.
I had
And-
the tie for you, Jake. had it.
Man. Yeah, dude, your suit and tie collection, mwah, very good, Steven.
I'm
You looked
trying.
very good. It's got to pop.
Got to
So,
get those pants
it
sewn
does
up or some
definitely
other
have a
gray ones,
pop,
you know what I'm
but-
saying? But they definitely popped, you know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
you got to pop. You looked really professional. You look good, man. And I will not let you go on TV if I don't think your suit and tie is up to speed. So I have stopped
appreciate
people
that.
from going on air and being like, come here. I'll switch
I
you
think
out.
you
I'll give
actually
you a
fixed
better
my
tie.
collar one time too, so I do
Yes, sir.
appreciate that.
That's what I'm here for.
We need to get him a color chart, so he knows what colors
Bro,
go with each
oh my
other.
God. Okay, can I tell you guys something? During the broadcasts, I kind of wanted to create a comparison that like I was our version of Kenny Florian on our coverage. And then Kenny Florian showed up with the same shirt tie combination and then started doing the same gestures that I was doing. And I went to our PA, who was a local 10th Planet kid, all of a white belt.
Great
been in it for
guard, by
6
the
months.
way.
Super
Ben.
adorable kid, very nice. But this kid, I said, hey, go get me a photo and go see what kind of like color his tie is. And the kid's like right up on it. And then he doesn't want to admit to me, but then he eventually tells me, he's like, I think you're right, Raph. And I go, cool. What color is it? He goes, Raph, I'm colorblind. And I go, oh no, no, that was a bad choice. Oh no. And I felt so bad, but
He could have led with that.
yeah, he could have led with that, but I think he was trying to be a good go-getter, and I felt really bad afterwards. And then I said, that's cool. It's not an excuse. Give me the real color. Tell me what it is.
Send me a
afterwards.
picture.
But he was very helpful. Yeah.
And then he got choked out by Kevin.
That was his doing. Listen, I am an engager of nonsense, but I don't always indulge it. So this kid, I thought I was going to have to be the one having a super fight with him. Because like when we were off air, Steven, you're talking about throwing some fake punches, right? I'm trying to make this kid feel like he's part of us. So I'm like, hey man, come over here. Oh shit, I would have beaten you here. Would have gotten this rear naked choke. And this kid feels like he's part of the crew. And then all of a sudden he's like, Raph, I'm bringing my rash guard and my shorts. And I go, shit, am I going to have to roll with this kid? Like I'm hosting this. If I go down, this whole stream goes down. And he's like, yeah, tell Kevin I want to match with him. And I was like, what? He hasn't done anything to you. This is what? So anyway, yeah, we ended up doing that. But listen, the worst part is you tell me to do something, it's fun, but it goes back to our old streams. We used to have Keith Krikorian giving us like super fights on the free for when we did those ADCC broadcasts. So it's not nothing that we don't expect at some point, but yeah, he sacrificed his life. RIP that kid.
Hey, dude, how crazy that, like, for you knowing Keith too, like, and me also from when he was a little high school kid. I don't know if you know him from that far back, coming into training and stuff like that. Like, and seeing where he's at now, even too, as a 10th Planet guy. Like, he's not some super weird, funky guard guy either. Like, there's this stereotype that exists for some reason, but like this third or fourth wave or whatever we're in of 10th Planet guys, it's not what it always was before.
But also every 10th Planet has its own ecosystem,
that's where we are
thing.
now.
Yeah, like I don't know. Like I don't know. Saying the only thing I can potentially say is, oh, they all like to smoke weed. Like I feel like that's almost most gyms though. So it's not like a way to very quickly brand them. But yeah, no, Keith was somebody, I saw him at a tournament. I think it was the Ultimate Mat Warriors. I think he was competing against Jeff Niel. And I went up to him and I was like, hey man, that was really good. And he was competing for something I was putting together the next day. He sent an email. And on the email, I told him, I was like, hey man, can't wait to see you compete. At the time he was a purple belt. I said, you did a great job yesterday. And of course, him being this young go-getter that he is, he's like, oh man, you really liked how I rolled? And I was like, you're a really good kid. You got a good future. If you win this, I'll give you an interview. Oh, Mr. Esparza, I hope you do. Don't call me Mr. Esparza. Just call me Raph, dude. And he's like, no, I'm going to call you Mr. Esparza because, I'm being respectful. And I'm like, it means I'm old. And he goes, yeah, well, that too. And I go, all right, kid, I see how it is. So I've been very happy about his progression, and I'm glad he got to be on the ADCC as well. And I will tell you this, though. That dude, when he didn't get results or what he said enough mat time at ADCC, he's asking for super fights right now, and that means yikes. So
yeah, he was ready to do the absolute also. Like Keith was right there, ready to go, man, and all like 150 pounds of him. Yeah, like he was ready to go, dude. Like he didn't care. It could have been freaking Roosevelt or someone.
Well,
But
keep
didn't
in
he get
mind,
like Buchecha, I think, in his
they've
first match?
already thrown Buchecha at him
Yeah, but
before.
he did the first one, and then he got they're like,
You
"Here, you
good.
get Buchecha," and he's like, "I'm in."
Hell
take
yeah,
that.
dude.
And I was like,
Yeah.
I love you, Keith. Like, I
Yeah.
wish I could be you right now, just because you got so much like courage to just say I don't care and go out there and run it like that, you know.
He does,
And
man.
he's always been that guy though, and that's why he's where he is. So props to you, Keith, if you watch this or not, man. I love you.
Yeah. So what was like the vibe, backstage? Big tournament. There's competition across town. I'm sure everybody was talking about it.
It was surprisingly all love, man. Like I saw Max Hansen there, and he was with
Nice.
Dante and stuff. Like, and I was running into everybody, man. Andre Porfirio, who I had a match with not too long ago, and he was super cool. Like, everybody, dude, and they were so respectful. Like, it's funny, we'll see like shit talk on social media and stuff, and that vibe just like and not even between like the top athletes. It's not the top athletes that are talking a lot of shit, but then you see backstage everybody is really respectful and personable and stuff, and it was really dope. It's like everybody had respect for who made it to ADCC. But yeah, it was legit. It was cool. I had a lot of like, actually the one thing that stands out the most to me was Lovato. I was sitting there on the same mat as Lovato, and I was I was a little starstruck, but also watching the way that he handled matches and between the matches, and then when everything was over and stuff, you can just see why this guy is like a champion and a legend, and I'm just like, wow, like everybody around him is so supportive. Like Zhangji was bringing him like water bottles and getting him, like, even Zhangji is like willing to like go out of his way to go get a water bottle for a guy like Lovato, man. Like that's crazy to me. Like you would think it's like a blue belt or something, but no,
That
it's
shows a lot
freaking,
about him too, about Zanji in the same way,
yes,
right? Both
yes,
guys,
that's what I'm
right? That's
saying.
so much
Yeah.
respect. That's a cool story, man.
Yeah, so like watching them back there and stuff, like that's when it was sitting in that I was like, holy shit, this isn't just like sitting backstage at any tournament, like, the confident part of me wants to like just treat it, oh, I'm just an athlete. This is just another one of those like backstage things, and I'm probably gonna be like one of the last guys to leave, but for one, that's not true. I was like one of the last guys to leave, but not because I'm waiting for the finals match or anything, but like definitely like I actually did take the time to soak it in when I realized I was sharing a warm-up mat with Lovato. I was like, holy shit. Like, and super nice guy, by the way, not cocky at all or anything, just humble. Uh and I was able to recall a memory from Chris Ford, Ryan Ford's brother, who Ryan Ford bought Lovato bought Chris a private with Lovato down here in Atlanta in like 2011 or 2012, and I said to Lovato, I was like, hey man, I was a kid when you came down here to Atlanta. And he was like, oh, for Ryan Ford and Chris Ford, I remember that time, and I was like, holy shit, dude. Like he's just that real, man.
Mm.
So that was cool.
That's awesome, bro.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So I saw that you kind of posted you started in 2009. Again, like how old were you in 2009?
I was 16.
And so 2009 was definitely like the heavy MMA scene. Like we just had like,
18. It was more like 18 was, so I did all right. So 6 months into my training, like I was at a gym that like, you know, you weren't allowed to like really roll until you had like a stripe or two, I think. And when I finally got that stripe or two, you know, I was rolling. So I didn't really roll for like the first like 3 months or so, you know, but then I was rolling for like 3 more months, you know, and then some kid in school like called me out, and he was like kind of and he was waiting at this place called the Ashtray, and I had to walk through the Ashtray. The Ashtray was where all the kids would smoke cigarettes after high school or whatever, you know. And I had to walk through there, and this kid called me out because he saw my sweatshirt said like martial arts on it, and he was a boxer. And so, you know, next thing you know, we got a fight at this kid named Robert Cowell's house, you know, a week from then. And so with very minimal training and like braces and shit, you know, I go and basically have my first like smoker MMA fight in this kid's living room while he's telling his mom that we're just sparring. But like there was blood, and all the upperclassmen were like watching it, and you know, like we were trying to hurt each other for sure. And so then I pursued that whole thing with inspiration from the movie Never Back Down. I was pursuing the whole
Okay.
fucking classic, right?
Let's go.
I was, yeah, dude, that fucking Rise Against soundtrack, bro. Like you can't beat that, dude.
I forgot
And
about that till just now. Honestly, you said it was just
how could you
right
forget,
back-
Steven?
I was a
Dude,
little bit older then. That's what I'm saying. Like I started when I was like 25.
so
Right.
so
And
you're on
so
that blood sport.
Remember,
yeah,
Ryan?
yeah. I'm
we're
more of
old,
the Van
dude. I was
Damme
in
Seagal kind of
Afghanistan
guy.
when I like saw that
I'm a
movie.
wrist lock you.
Yeah. So I was into MMA after that. Took my first MMA fight right as a senior in high school, and then did a couple more until I took my L fighting for a title in Conflict Promotions.
Oh, you where you fought for Conflict too?
Yeah, I remember when you were fighting on Conflict, Steven.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
that's cool.
you were like a pro in those days.
I was. I
Yeah.
am. I guess.
Yeah.
Was.
Yeah,
I
I remember
was.
those
Yeah.
days.
Look, they brought me in to fight the SWAT team captain in Charleston, South Carolina, and I got a split decision win over him and fled the city immediately.
That was a good idea.
Bolo.
They were booing and like everybody was screaming, and I was like, "Hey, everybody to the cars!"
Smart
That's
idea.
awesome.
That's funny. That's funny. Conflict. Wow.
Yeah, old school.
So what do you got coming up next? I mean, we know that you're going to be doing the PGF in November, but you have anything coming up in between now and then?
So I think we're gonna do something here in Atlanta. It's like a quintet thing. And we're trying to get me, Kevin Beering, Elijah Carlton, and I've reached out to somebody else that I think would be a killer on that team, and we're hoping to get them too. So
Chase Hanna?
we'll wait and see. I mean, that's not a bad choice, but we were looking for someone a little heavier right now. But you know, Chase will always bring the freaking smoke, bro.
Stephen Aikens down the street. I don't know. He might take a match.
Only if
Listen,
he brings those
listen.
ripped pants.
Listen, if you guys need me, I'll be there, but I'll just
Bustin'.
be happy to be a part of y'all's team, you know. But I'll definitely at least knock one dude out for sure. I
Hell
think
yeah.
I could at least get to the draw with one dude, whoever it is.
Yeah,
So,
hell yeah.
y'all need like a stopper. I got your back, son.
Hell yeah.
So Ryan, I mean, obviously, we're talking PGF now, so it's a completely different competition than everything else. What is your strategy in the PGF? You know, as opposed to everything else that you've done.
Well, I haven't really thought of a specific strategy. I guess the first and foremost strategy is to be on the winning team. Like my God. So I guess I gotta try to do whatever I can to inform whoever picks me how to get on the winning team. Because I ain't trying to be like fighting in the freaking trenches just so I can make it into that last bracket, you know, at the end of the week. So I'll do it if I have
we
to.
we saw that a lot actually with a couple of the dudes that were some of the favorites. You know, I don't know if the way that the draft is going to be set up is exactly the same. But PJ, for example, you know, everybody they bid his price up very high, and so they ended up having to accept, you know, lower tiered perhaps people as his teammates and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean,
Man.
look at Andy too, right? Like Andy Varela. I mean,
Yeah.
he was like almost like 50% of a budget for a team he went for.
Yeah.
And it was rough because the rest of the team, they didn't perform so well.
They can't close the deal as much.
My favorite was still the very cool, reserved PJ Barch giving you the most animated, like, what the fuck are you doing? Looks, and then like trying to tell you, like, don't spend that much money on me, because he figured, he's like, this is gonna come back and bite us, and I'll be to blame. And it's not his fault. It's just the first time. I would tell you, I think the next time that I know that at that juncture when they do the draft, I will try to produce the audience to give even bigger reactions. Like, I want them to be 90s Fox sitcom audience members reactions of like, oh, what? I just felt like there were a couple times when everybody tried to be a little reserved, but you could hear in the audience when they thought somebody overbid or didn't get the money they were deserved. So I feel like we gotta play that up a little bit more.
Yeah.
I didn't really like auctioning off a bunch of men personally, but I feel like it was.
Don't think of it like that. No, you don't think of it like that. But it's all in the way that you phrase it.
Somebody sent me a message that said that one time, and it's been really hard to not think about that.
Oh man.
I mean, so
Hold up, man.
Like, I mean, if you say that, you can't do fantasy sports. Period.
Yeah,
It's true.
like,
I'm just saying.
I'm just saying the NFL draft does it without having to be like, hey,
Look how
really
big
brings a
Ryan
man
is,
meat up
guys.
here.
He's very thick and he's handsome.
Well, see, now you're just describing either a dude or a steak. So now at a certain point,
He's
you're
very
probably mixing
tender.
the two there. Be like
He's
super
aged
tender, very rare,
7 years or so.
quintessential. I just feel like all you have to
16.
do, land it, just say the names. And you were good though, like Steven, you were egging the people on. You were trying to get them to make their final bids. And listen, you were doing an excellent job. So
No, it was
just
fun.
don't
It's a
let
lot
them
of
get
fun.
in your head. Don't let the haters
No, I'm
win.
gonna
Stephen Aiken.
sell it. I don't care if they
Yeah,
tell me
just
to do it again. I'm just gonna do it again.
Over objectify it. Like I remember dump truck
truck.
Randy.
That's
Yes.
Dump truck Randy, bro.
Listen, if you want to take your pants off, I'm not here to stop you. Much like Raph said earlier, I'm here to like make that more of an exciting part of the show somehow. So
Listen, this
let
is
me know.
Ryan Aiken standing up here, guys. Brazilian rich, koi ponds, cutting grass. He knows Mexicans.
his
Let's
landscape
get those
is
bids up, guys.
impeccable.
Mucho pinche la puñeta.
Just think about, like, just realize it. The Randy admitted he rolled
They got that.
his
I didn't-
underwear.
I didn't get that.
Randy rolled in his underwear.
That was kind of gross, by the way.
Yeah,
Just Randy.
we realize that. So please don't.
Especially if he got you in that mounted triangle.
Oh no.
Has there ever been a wedgie? Has anybody like done a wedgie?
Oh, you got to be the first. Yo, be the first, man. It's not against the rules. Make
Are
it
you sure
against
that's
the
not
rules.
against the rules? You can't really grab their clothes and like pull their clothes. This is
And there's
GG,
ways,
brother.
man. I don't know, man. They got magic over there. I believe in Ryan.
What
Over
if
in
your
Atlanta,
foot?
you got
What
magic?
if your foot happens to hook in the leg of the shorts?
No.
And 2 feet
Hey,
hook
please,
on either side
Hey.
and hoist it
No.
up.
Check it out.
Dude, no.
Check it out. The NFL changes rules for
If you
Tom
can
Brady.
wedgie somebody
but
with your
PF,
butterfly guard, I'll run a
change
lap
rules for
after
Ryan.
the tournament.
You got to see this. You know what? You can even go to the opponent and be like, let me get a yeah. As you do the wedgie, that'd be highlight clip of the year for jiu-jitsu of the decade. I think.
You know, bro. You know, John Jones stole that from me, dude.
Because he saw it. It's
Which one? What did he steal?
It's the Hoya thing,
Oh,
man.
he had the best post-fight interview to date.
I just
Ryan
don't know.
had.
I don't know if I'm gonna do it anymore now. It's like now when I do it, it feels like I'm just ripping it from John Jones when I know that's not the truth. But it's like,
Look, how about, he's not going to
bullshit.
fight
He's doing
anytime
it,
soon,
man.
man. He ain't going to be here anytime soon. Claim your
You be
thing
you,
back,
man.
man.
You be you.
Claim your thing back. We need that.
You want the
Fans
Hoya?
need it. The fans need
You
it.
guys want the Hoya? Like,
So,
is
I
that
Ryan,
what-
need it.
That's
to
what
the,
you
to the
do.
PGF here.
Hold
If
on.
you could
All of
pick-
you are just playing
if you could
straight
pick
into
your
this. Like you
PGF.
guys, but you guys really need it. What? Like the good news that you have though, Ryan, is you don't have a lot of time on the mic. Like when Steven comes out to do those like very quick hits for those interviews, we need a way to communicate with that audience very quickly. And
Yeah, I got it.
you,
You want to
all
hear
right.
it?
Yes.
It's
No,
just-
send it to us off air. Don't sell it yet. We need
Oh,
this.
okay. All right.
Save it, man.
Save it. Let
I
it
got
simmer.
one. I think we got it. I think we got a new one.
Okay. Listen, and you just let me know what you need from me, and we got it. I'll tee this baby up. Like that's
Busted,
what everybody's
man.
got to understand. I am like enhancement talent for you guys. I'm a jobber out there. It's my job
Not a
to make
job.
you guys look better and feel better. So
Hell
whatever it is that
A
can help you guys
jobber?
like get it
No,
over.
no. So
Ready.
in pro wrestling, the people who lose all the time, they're referred to as
the
jobbers or
jobber.
enhancement talent. So they're the dudes who lose in like 2
Bluffers.
seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Steven, you're thinking too low. You definitely are the mean gene. Like there is no Macho Man
No, for
promo
sure.
without Mean Gene. So
For
that's
sure.
you, my friend.
No, and I watch lots of Mean Gene to
Mean Gene's
get those
the
vibes
goat,
off. You know what
bro.
I'm saying? It's part of the
So-
gag.
Have you talked to your teammate, about what to expect? Elijah being that he's the 3-time champ
The
and all
bad
that.
guy,
Is he giving you tips?
He's not bad.
Jabroni.
Yeah, all of that.
He's
all
a
of the
good guy.
above.
He's a sweetheart.
He is. He's quite the sweetheart. I used to live with Elijah.
Oh,
We lived together for like a year last year. Yeah.
nice.
Oh wow. Okay.
So I watched him. I watched him go through the PGF last year and win for sure. Yeah, that was
Okay.
his thing, man. So we haven't really we didn't really discuss the strategy and stuff. I just kind of know about the lifestyle. Like I know that it's like everybody gets really close. Like I remember when I came over there to do that quintet last November, and I'm like, I have to have more experience than like most of these guys on this show, but like they didn't give a fuck. Like I'm like walking in the back room to hang out with some of these guys because I'm about to do the quintet, and they're acting like I'm an asshole because I wasn't there in the trenches with them for the whole week. You know,
That's right.
I'm just
That's right.
showing up for like one little match. You know, so there is definitely this like pecking order that goes on when you do this this PGF thing. So that's one thing that I feel like I wouldn't have known about if I wasn't didn't know Elijah and didn't go experience that last November. So I kind of get that.
That's real though, by the way.
Yeah.
Like if you've gone through it, then you have a certain feeling about it. And if
You're
you
in the
haven't gone
journey.
through it, then you can't quite understand exactly what it is, for the competitors. So it is very interesting. And even for Elijah, somebody who's done very well, he could probably speak, and you probably saw it, like you said, to the the stress that goes into this type of thing, doing these many matches against this many people in such a short amount of time. Have you ever competed where you've done 10 to 15 matches in anywhere between like a month or two even?
I've just done the 2 days in a row with ADCC, and I know how tough that can be. So that's another reason PGF appeals to me so much, though, is that I feel like it'll help me with my finishing ability. It'll help me with my gameness and being more comfortable under pressure. That's something I've definitely seen, like out of like a guy like Max Hansen, right, who goes and does PGF and then is just doing tournaments like every other weekend, for so long, and he handles like the pressures of competing very well. Kevin Beering, I've seen that in him as well, who was on PGF, and then Elijah is his own case as well, because he's done all of the PGFs almost, and he's just like people are so scared of him because he's just like a snake when he gets out there, and it's like he'll just catch you, and and
That's
he has
true.
a very Tin Con style. It's not Irimi pressure. It's very like deflective and reflective and stuff. So
He's longer than you think too.
yeah,
Like his arms and legs are pretty long.
long
it
and
doesn't-
skinny. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and talks a lot of shit. So it
Oh,
gets in your
that's
head.
that's the best and worst part.
Yeah. Yeah, so I don't know, man. There's some attributes from all the fighters that have done PGF in the past that I'd like to have as well, you know. And I think that you gotta do PGF to get that, you know.
For sure.
You might be facing a guy that's in this panel if he happens to make it through. So just be warned.
All right. Well, Raph, what's it gonna be? I'm just kidding.
Wow.
I know.
I appreciate that.
I know.
but you didn't even consider. Wow, damn, it hurts a little bit.
You know, let's put it this way. I have told people for years, I have no problem sacrificing myself for the greater good. I just don't think it gets us any new viewers in the sport. No, obviously there is somebody who is going to go do this. Now, I guess the question is, Egg, so you're doing which qualifier?
Las Vegas.
You're doing Las
so-
Vegas. Okay.
Yeah,
So
'cause that's
That's a tough one.
I've already done that. Yeah, I've done that drive. Obviously, this last weekend, it sucked ass. But I'll do it again. But part of it
Egg,
is
you have the biggest target on you because
Big head.
you're here. Hold on, let me get there first. But second, it's just like you also, yeah, you are, Kai, you are 100% right. It's just like you are such a stats person that someone will say it took so many seconds that you got submitted by, and due to your duty, you'd have to be like, actually, it was 7. Like, you would have to do those stats about yourself. Are you prepared to do stats about yourself?
I am.
Got to.
I am.
Godspeed.
So
Man,
I mean,
you're just-
here's the thing, guys. I mean, Professor Oss, unlike you,
It's Os, dude.
Oh,
Os.
Well,
yeah, we
that
don't
is
do that in
chair
Texas.
directions.
I don't know what I'm talking about.
Curios.
All right, great, Os. So phenomenal.
Hey, will you please do the
Chocolate
Las Vegas qualifier, Ryan? Just
He doesn't need to. He's already been invited.
What do you mean?
so-
You're making him try to do it, even though he came on here. And the first thing he hears from Wallow is, "Well, it looks like things are bad here. You better go qualify." And Ryan's like, "Fool, I'm in it." And he goes, "Not what I heard. Recently,
So-
paper says, yikes."
So actually, 2 points to that. One is that Elijah is not in unless he does a qualifier, and so thanks, Kyle.
How's the
You
qualifier
fucker.
work? Do you have to do E EBIOT?
No.
No,
So
it's like a beauty contest. Brandon just picks who he likes the most.
yeah, and then the regulation, just like Brandon's like, all right, I choose you, Pikachu, and that's it. So Kai, first of all, I'm changing my freaking flow password, so screw you. So you can't use that anymore.
Oh,
Password sharing. Who does that?
dirty.
I don't know what you're talking about, like all you assholes. But okay, very well. Second is that, hey man, I season 2 was a weight class I could have like done. Yeah, Steven's amazing. He would have kicked my ass, as we've seen. But I could have done that. 205.
I could have used those 6 or 7 points for sure.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thanks, Steven. 205 was attainable. Right now, admittedly, with my move and the cortisol and the stress, it's gonna be tough, but I'll make it.
Let's go, champ.
It's gonna happen. It's kind of tough because like,
What's your path to victory? Let's say that. Let's say what's your path to victory.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
good question there. I like that.
I have a fairly decent. If I'm in closed guard, Dagestani handcuff to north-south choke move
God damn.
that I've hit on black belts before, multiple black belts, and it's pretty good.
From the top or the
Ryan.
bottom?
So they let
It
you.
sounds
slap
like
that,
he's threatening you with it.
they let you
Got
slap that
threatening me.
handcuff on, huh?
Thanks, Ryan. So they let me let me obviously do that because like I'm just some weak, I have
Little
no
baby
ability
purple
to do
belt.
anything whatsoever.
Cute
I
little
mean, all right. So
lavender belt.
all right. To this point, obviously,
Smells good.
I'm not an ADCC, winner like yourself, Ryan.
I'm
But
not a winner. I'm
This
not a
motherfucker
winner.
is a winner.
I fucking lost.
you won a
fucking
match.
lost, bro. I
No,
lost.
Hold on.
so
He won a match.
Ryan,
He has
you
won.
I
got
lost
the
the
applause
ADCC.
because you got the submission win in less than 2 minutes, and you achieved what you wanted to, and it was amazing.
I
Yeah.
came a little bit. Yeah.
I mean, you did what you wanted to do.
Yeah.
I mean,
Little
you
bit.
and hey, I listened to the interview with Raph, and you did exactly what you said you want to do, and that's amazing. And it was great, but
The Dagestani handcuff.
But he feels like he's gonna beat you though.
oh
Sure.
shit!
From
I mean,
top
obviously,
close guard,
Ryan
people
would
like,
smoke me in a heartbeat. No
they're letting
question
you
about that.
daggy standing handcuff them from top close guard. Like you're in their close guard.
Yeah. So realistically,
Who are
what I
these
do is
black
like,
belts?
I-
Guys,
I-
don't let somebody do that to you. You see how these purple belts act when you let them get
I'm
moves
gonna
off?
give you that
in class?
Kazakhstani ass whoop.
Oh!
all right.
Then I'm gonna
I
give
mean-
you that Canadian head punch.
There's
There we
no
go.
winning in this
We can't
moment
all be
right now.
winners.
And there's
Hold
no
on,
winning.
hold on. I think we're getting away from the core essence of the question, which was, Egg, what's your path to victory? And somehow it became like a referendum on, well, Ryan Aiken didn't win ADCC, everybody. Let's just remember that.
That's some real judge shit.
I didn't say that shit at all. I was trying to give him props. Like I'm not like him. He got that amazing one against Mourinho. So that was phenomenal.
So
Oh,
your path to victory is the Dagestani handcuffs to the north-south choke, right?
Yeah.
Wait,
You heard it
really?
here first.
Really? North-south choke?
Yeah.
Are you ticklish?
No.
I
Oh,
am.
damn, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know what I'm gonna do about that north-south choke, bro.
Yeah, obviously, Ryan. I'm not suggesting
You
that.
got that really funky guard,
You're my
Ryan.
way to victory because like you're already in. I'm just saying like at the qualifier, that might work for me.
You know, run through all these Vegas studs with the north-south choke, huh?
At least one.
I will fully admit after coming out here and training to play Oceanside,
He started camp already, bro.
shit is
The whole
tougher
new
out
world.
here. No
The whole new
question.
world.
It is
It is a
not,
tall order. Yes.
It is not Virginia, where I was beforehand. It is much tougher out here.
But
Ooh,
upside,
damn.
you're
You
going to
just
get
sounded
better.
like you dissed Virginia, bro.
I'm
Look,
not trying
people
to
in
diss
Virginia,
Virginia.
we
I'm just
love you
saying,
guys,
like,
but y'all
like,
know.
San Diego is like one of the meccas of jiu-jitsu, and for good reason. Like,
Yeah, because it's literally a walk away from the Mexican pharmacies.
I'm not worried about being.
It's a long walk though.
Right.
It's
I'm
worth the
I'm
walk.
not worried about being less.
It's
strong.
worth the walk.
Ryan, you need to talk to those Mexicans about the distance and how long a good walk is for some of them.
Okay.
Bye,
It's a
take
long
a
walk.
bike. Shit.
Brian, I know you're a strong guy. I got that, man. But I'm old man strength. I'm not worried about that.
Oh, he's not worried about
I'm
you, Ryan.
fucking old
You're
You
man
got
at
that
least
John
as
Mayer
well.
strength.
Yeah, Ryan. I mean, here's the thing. I mean,
that chiseled jaw.
they all want egg me on, and yes, I get the.
You do, but it's not Easter yet, baby.
Hey.
It's fine. It's fine.
Ooh, I like this.
It's fun. It's okay. So
Let me take a stab at this.
thank you.
Sorry.
I appreciate this.
Main
for saving me.
broadcaster voice here.
Ooh.
Egg, we wish you well. We're excited that you're doing it. I think it's a good thing. And you know what, dude? I'm gonna be honest. I have no interest in doing it. So Godspeed to you. Go do the thing. And you know what? Surprise, maybe you pull something off that's pretty dope. And maybe you pull off the move, and all of us, you can clip this and you'd be like, what? Did I do that? And that'd be great. Now, when you don't, I feel like most of us can revisit this.
No, we don't.
And when you don't, because I'm saying you won't, I'm just saying when you don't, then we can just go about business as per usual. But I think it's really dope that you're going to do the qualifiers process because nobody knows any of these results more than you do. So that's really cool. And as you mentioned, you could have done it the last time, but now it's come back full circle. And the nice part is it's going to give you insight into the people's games as you start talking about it. Because I do have a policy on my show, which is if people do an interview in person with me, I do offer to roll with them. And sometimes they don't take me up on it, but normally it's because I don't know them. So it's my quickest way to learn them very quickly. And there's a little bit more of a trust. Like if I ask them questions, they're not as guarded, but I feel like, hey, they're obviously going to be better at jiu-jitsu than I am, but I like to try and extend that their way. So if you end up seeing somebody who becomes the winner and you did have a match with them, you'll be able to speak with a certain kind of credibility that other people will not have.
Exactly. I mean, here's the thing. Teddy Roosevelt said, like, you know, it's not the critic who counts, right? But this is my chance. This is my weight class I could possibly get to.
Try to get that critic to count. You know what I'm saying?
All right, so whatever, Raph. As you see with these yahoos, it doesn't matter.
Please, these are your boys. I can't corral them
Allegedly,
forever.
Hey, Egghead, what are those bottles behind you? Is that Bacardi?
Yeah, to the left. I can show the other stuff.
He's got a real
You're
decanter. That's
collecting liquor,
quality
and
shit.
you're supposed to compete in like
Performance enhancement drugs, baby.
This is my bar,
we got
dude.
over here.
This is my this is my
This
place.
motherfucker's popping bottles out here.
You like to
Listen,
drink,
we
huh?
really
you
want
go.
Egg to win because his replacement has already been named, and we want him. So
What?
yeah,
You guys have already named a replacement? Like, you didn't
Ryan,
even wait
so-
for somebody to die? You were just like, no, we're ready. Get out.
So Ryan,
Sometimes
to your
these
point,
these
is
things
that,
happen in MMA.
I am a middle-aged dad. All right, so there's a few places that are my spots, and in my new house that I moved into a month ago, I have a bar that is my spot, and so this is where I will do my podcasting from.
Damn.
And yes, there are a number of bottles of things because it's my bar.
Yeah, well,
Bro,
I'm
he's a
gonna
lead like
I'm gonna
that.
watch the level on those bottles, bro.
Well, I mean, should you want to come out to beautiful Vista, California?
No, I'm gonna watch them on every
Visually.
show you do, so I know how much you're drinking.
I got bad news for you. You better watch those levels after the PGF qualifier because I think they'll tell you where we're at.
So, yeah, whatever, Ryan. Yeah, you're a real athlete. I'm just
love
a
you,
guy
man.
trying to do something in my life. you
You're
know, 'cause I'm-
passionate.
Hold on. Everybody shut up. Egg, if you do the impossible and you do qualify it, I option the rights to your life because I will write the best Hallmark movie, come from behind story anybody has ever seen. Now, casting for you is going to be unique. I don't know.
I'll voice act the narration though. I'll narrate.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you. But see, that's only one side. We do the 30 for 30 doc that goes with it. That's the one you're narrating, sir.
And no one, this motherfucker had a chance.
Just
So
play
Ryan, I mean,
free.
just so you know, I have 5 degrees.
How many
On
degrees
his
do you
belt.
have,
It's a
Ryan?
green nerd belt.
Not belts of actual, like, you know, lambskins
He's talking about school stuff.
on the
Yeah,
wall.
or are they from
Cool,
Dagestan?
no.
Or Dagestan?
Dagestani. The Dagestani.
Are they Dagestani
degrees.
degrees?
All right, screw it.
like your
Computer
hand.
engineering. Hey, Ryan. Computer
Don't do
engineering.
it. Don't tell Meg. Don't do it. Don't do that.
Management
Don't do that.
information systems.
No.
Don't dox
Don't
yourself,
do
bro.
it.
Don't
Oh,
dox
oh,
yourself.
Juris
Don't
Doctor
dox
from
yourself.
Boston University.
No.
And a master of law from in taxation.
You got him.
You know,
You got
Boston
him,
University,
Professor.
top 5 in the
20-pound
country.
brain.
What?
So
Where's
big.
that? Where's that? Benny? Is it Benny in the Brain or whatever? That mouse show.
Pinky in the
Pinky.
brain.
Pinky
Pink in the
brain.
brain.
Pinky
Oh, I'm
in
sorry,
the
guys. I
brain,
mean,
brain,
you want to know
brain.
that I'm actually really, really smart? My bad.
I mean,
There.
yeah, no, dude, you have 5 degrees. I guess the question is why 5?
I've only got only one so far, I guess, technically.
Yes.
He's got 5 more than I do. I ain't got shit.
So why'd you
Why
get 5?
5? 4 wasn't
Because I'm a
enough.
What's your
nerd,
story?
Ryan.
Because
'Cause
what?
he wanted to have more than 4, bro.
Yeah, I'm about to say more than 4.
Fine. So
It's 6 if you include the high
Stalling.
school carry on.
Stalling.
No.
Stalling. Where's the
So
flag?
Ryan, I wanted to
Stalling.
be a CEO of a large corporation when I was a young kid. All right.
Your
Egghead
CEO?
Industries.
Global Gym.
Yeah. Yeah, great. Thank you. So when I was the, freaking captain of the debate team, there was articles about the next CEO of
Where'd you take your
One.
acting classes?
I did not take those. Thank you very much. I was the top. I was actually the award winner of the top science and math guy in all my high school.
Yeah.
Welcome to Eggs Resume.
Yeah. Hey
Here
guys.
on
Hey,
PGF
you want some nerd story backstory? Let's go.
Let's hear it.
Let's go.
All right. And I
I was
was
the top quiz bowl champion in 6th grade.
Everybody
actually,
shut up. I'm trying to get this story through. We're on
So
1
Steven,
degree
actually,
barely.
as you pointed out, Quiz Bowl, yes, we were state champions. So you were right. Quiz Bowl state champions. I was actually on TV.
It wasn't even a team. It was just Egghead by himself against every other kid in the state.
So I actually memorized
I feel
the
like Eggy's
dictionary
taking us
of
off the
cultural
rails.
literacy.
Normally, he brings us back into the rails.
No,
No, if you want to go on the rails, let's go, man. I
I'm gonna
mean,
mute myself.
so Ryan, I'm also an attorney, which most people have figured out by now. I'm tired about that.
Explains the handcuffs.
I don't have any handcuffs here.
He is the handcuff. You know what I'm saying?
That's a little bit naughty. But yes, so I have a master's of law, and actually 2 masters of law in both taxation and international operational law.
Yeah.
So there's the 3 other degrees.
So when I win the PGF, how do I not pay taxes?
So first we need to get you an LLC set up, which is easiest peasy.
Okay.
It takes like $35. The operational agreement is the biggest deal. I will not give you advice though, because you have not paid me, and I don't do that.
Yeah,
Well, I
that's
can't-
not where that ends.
But I can't pay you until after the PGF.
Talk to me on the side.
I'll
I
throw
will
you
say-
$1 to retain you.
Can I just put this out here to everybody real quick? Ryan, I think you need more money than $1. Maybe at least give him a private, and then maybe you could give him you have some leverage here, because he's gonna need it for Vegas. I just want to point this out. There was one person, and only one person, I asked this question to when I was trying to figure it out, because John Jones was giving out that $1 million, and I couldn't help but think, I was like, wait, are they a nonprofit? And I just looked at Egg and I go, do you have to pay taxes normal rate for that? And he goes, yes. And I go, I believe you. Done. Moving on, next topic. That's why you have experts in those fields.
The really fun thing was when Handsome Kevin was asking about, hey, this Fair Fight Foundation, what the hell is that about? Yeah,
When you started looking it up.
I have no idea. Give me a few minutes. Oh, so they were actually founded in May something or another of this year, and it was founded by this wealth management company out of New York City. Like, doesn't seem like they're really a charity as much as they are a.
You're actually
hedge fund.
blowing up the CJI right now.
Oh man.
I have
He's
news for you.
exposing them right now. Yeah.
I don't think Egg can do anything to CGI that Craig himself wouldn't already do. Like,
I mean-
I think if anything, we had people who were talking to us and they were asking us, they're like, "Hey, ref, what charity is it going to?" And I go, "The good ones." They go, "Okay, well, which ones?" I was like, he stands for good. It's like some Oprah shit.
Hey,
Oprah's just
tap
like, I
cancer
stand
out.
for what's good.
And
Well,
so they
come on,
do
I
so
can't see where
in
the
meetings
stuff's
though, for
going.
real. In the
I just
meetings
know that-
before
that I-
production and everything, they had several different charities that they had named that each different part of it was going to. They told us specific numbers. I didn't write those down. They
Yeah.
let some of the athletes pick specific charities that they wanted some of the proceeds to donate towards. So some of the athletes got to pick their own specific charity they liked, but I can't remember, one they chose was like a one that was being hit by some floods, I think somewhere in Brazil maybe, and that money went directly kind of to a grassroots kind of charity rather than like a Red Cross kind of thing in those ways. So there was
So,
some talk
Steven-
about the specifics, but I don't remember.
I saw the
Let me-
videos of him handing out food to like 100 kids or whatever.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
mean,
this
yeah,
is-
Fiona had one that like she was like doing a charity that dealt with the Palestinian children, which is phenomenal.
Injured and hurt, people displaced by war.
Yeah.
However you
Yeah,
feel, whatever
that's fair
side you're on, that matters.
I
think-
I am only talking about the Fair Fight Foundation itself.
Correct.
Mm.
Which I was asked by handsome Kevin. He's like, "Hey, egghead, what's this thing?" I'm like, okay, Roger that. I have a unique skill about being able to research things.
You do.
So I went to
I think
IRS website.
The weakness that we have in our sport is we don't really have public relations, and so we don't have a way to communicate that out other than just, hey, here's an Instagram post. So yeah, when Egg was looking it up, it was kind of well, he came back and gave us this information. All right, I guess that makes sense. They put this together starting in May. But when people were asking me for specifics, I was like, I don't work for them. I don't know. I'm going to find out the same time you guys do. But what we are missing on our side, Stephen, is we weren't privileged to be in those meetings. So that's something that up until we see it kind of get put in there, and sometimes it could be through a video, whatever, it's hard to understand where it goes. So thus joke
No,
stands.
that makes a lot of sense. I just kind of wanted to jump in though and at least defend that point slightly for them, because they did have
that is good, because
what they said,
that is helpful to hear. And I think the one thing I did tell people is I was like, you know what though, I do trust Craig, like especially when they're asking, do you really think he has a million? I go, well, I trust him more than other promoters, so yeah, I think he's going to get it done. And then he came on Rogan that next week, and I go, yeah, all right, point taken.
Listen, behind the scenes, those dudes were as professional as anything I've ever been a part of. They had everything set up nicely for us. They took care of us as far as things that we may want or need or information. They were very, very forward with any communication stuff that was going on. It was as well run of a thing that I've ever been a part of. And so I think maybe they didn't get to the public as much with all that kind of stuff, but with us, they gave us a ton of information. And so Seth, who is with B Team, I don't want to butcher his last name, but Seth would be the guy that I would like look to for that kind of information on where a lot of the nonprofit stuff is going, because he's kind of, I think, who's like directing traffic on that end.
I think you're correct.
More so than anyone else.
I just feel like
he felt really genuine.
I feel like it's the next steps that we'll probably see from them. I will tell you guys this. I know we were asking Ryan, it's like, what do you got going on next? And like, Ryan's like, dude, it's been a week, man. Like, I barely know what food feels like. I don't even know what I'm doing tomorrow. So like, I think he's stoked for the next season of PGF, but I have to tell you guys, I was so drained this past week, and it was like my body felt like junk. The first day I went to go work out after all this stuff, thank God my guy gave me an easy day of a workout. But even rolling with people, I was just like, this is hard. I forgot how to do
Anybody
all
else
this.
be like crying all week a little bit? Just a little extra, like, cry, Okay, cool. Not just me.
Yeah, it's called that post-trip
Ooh.
depression, dude.
Yeah,
Like,
for sure.
Yeah.
That's a real thing. I think I felt that a ton
We've talked about
this
this.
week,
So Steven, what Ralph was talking about, like, hey man, I'm not trying to, like, mess with CGI.
No.
They were amazing. I appreciate
You
them.
get CJ out of your filthy mouth.
Hey,
Can I
man,
just say
I
this
just
though? An egg. Let me finish that thought for you. I find it very difficult to find the line when they are putting out glasses that have spoons for cocaine in them. So like to me, I'm like, where is the line? I'm like, I should be able to have fun with this too. So when we did our numbers analysis, I had said, I was like, I did reach out to Craig. I think he's on a coke binge. And part of my brain said, is that right? And then I go, but they're doing the joke. I wouldn't do the joke if they didn't do it. So like, I think all we're doing is playing within the same field that they have constructed. It's just, I want to hear more about it, but I do take them at their word. And I don't know that I would say that about a lot of organizations, because some organizations, when they've come through and they're like, we're going to take care of grapplers, I go, are you? I hope so. And then you get really nervous. So I believe them. It's just, I think that's the next step is as they start releasing press statements or putting out where the money goes. I think we'll see probably videos because they've been making video content for that. And hearing Steven say that, that's super great. It's just that part didn't get televised. And we didn't have
I didn't
the
expect
volume
it to
on.
blow up as much as it did. I'll be honest. Like the numbers coming in, everybody was freaking out. It was blown way out of the water as far as
So-
everything that we knew we were going to do great, but we didn't know it was going to be like that great.
Oh,
So
I was on the
now
record.
there's so
telling
much
people-
more available. I think
I was telling
than
people on
before.
record, I said it's going to do 1.5 both nights, and I hit my number pretty much. But what I didn't fully expect was I don't have their 18 to 49s. I don't have their 18 to 34s. I think that's the bulk of their demo. They were top 10 in all broadcast and TV. Like if I get those numbers, I will plug them in. But from my early
what were they
analysis,
peaking at? What were they peaking at as far as live viewers?
so at live viewers, I heard it was somewhere in the 164 region. And
164,000.
yes, sir.
Concurrent.
Put that into perspective. Like Dr. Disrespect would be like 20,000. So
big one.
prior to the
Yeah,
allegations,
the other stuff. Yep.
yeah. But
PDS
but that's like the biggest like YouTube's game streamer, right? And CJI is doing what 8 times that.
Keep in mind, okay, so there's that. And yeah, maybe it's a once a year sort of gig, but they outdrew the UFC's prelims.
Yeah.
So if you outdraw the UFC's prelims, the UFC has a multi-billion-dollar contract that they're about to go into renegotiations in about a year and a half. So that means every like week gets a certain amount of millions. Like us being in that conversation, I had people trying to shoot down the numbers. I had people being like, nah, it doesn't mean this, it doesn't mean this. And I was like, I'm telling you, these are all net positives. So like, even if my numbers are off, which I admit they could be, I'm trying to paint a picture for you, which is stop acting like it can't, because it is. And more
Dude, and it was
importantly,
packed inside that room. Like
and
I
gate
felt
is
like
good.
inside.
Mhm.
At first, it started a little bit where you could see some spots,
Sure.
but towards the end of each night, for sure, about halfway through, you did not see many empty seats in there. And dude, like I'm not kidding when I said about passed out earlier during one of the announcements, because the crowd got so hyped and I was just so
Believe
hyped
you.
up that it went on too long, and I just kind of went for it, you know. So like it was incredible to be
But
in
Steven,
that room
ask
and be a
yourself
part of it.
this now. What happens next year when they go unopposed? That place will probably be packed wherever they want to go. I think if they go back to Vegas, I think they pack out. I think because people had already bought 80cc tickets, they didn't have any more disposable income. I think we had maxed out our hardcore fans. But if they get a reset and you tell them like 6-7 months out, hey, we're going to do this weekend, this is what we're doing, I think things will change. And I wonder if they get a distribution deal, because I think those numbers are more than TV friendly. So I think it's a real thing. It's just, I'm rooting for them. I want them to get what they want. And if they want to stay independent, they could still draw some good sponsors off of that. But Miami would be a Craig move. Miami's far, y'all. Like,
Not
come
for
back
me.
to Vegas.
Yeah, but it was also those tickets were damn expensive. So I mean,
That's fair.
I got really lucky.
You did.
Obviously, I somehow won the tickets from Alex Winling, which were amazing. But those were like $300-$500 tickets a piece. like, I mean,
You didn't win the Miata though.
Oh,
I
yeah,
did
you
not.
did get the
That would have
Miata.
been sick,
I
bro.
apologize. I did
People
not.
were really speculating, like, are they really going to give that away to somebody? 'Cause
Yeah.
it was like right there the whole time.
But
Like we were like
but
sitting
the
in it.
point
And
is,
stuff.
like me trying to explain to my wife that I'm like, trying like, oh yeah, by the way, I'm going to Vegas, and I'm gonna get a hotel, and I got these tickets already because my friends Miggy and Wallow picked me up the ADCC tickets, and now I'm gonna also get how about I spend another $500 on some other tickets? Like, no, no, she would have said like, no, do not pass go, do not collect $200. So
It is
Ryan.
it is tough, but it was also a once in a big wow weekend. Like, I don't think people are going to do this in the future. I think they are going to learn a lesson. I think the only thing that you could potentially see, and I don't know how this goes, I don't know who announces first for 2026. 2025 is out in the clear for CJI, but
Yep.
is Craig going to sit there and wait for ADCC to announce their date and be like, and us too? See you guys again.
No,
Like,
he specifically kind of said that they don't want to do that again. That they feel like we reached the goal to disrupt things and get the pay brought up for everyone else and make it where it is. So they feel like they've reached that like specific target, and so now they may not have to do that again and keep going on with you know the way things are kind of pushing
I
towards now.
mean, Steven, I hear you, but things can change because all it takes is for somebody who organizes to pop off again, and this becomes Spike Tournament Part 2. I root for them. I think one of the challenges I
I just
said,
don't know
and
that
hearing you say that is good.
like I just don't think that's like a continuous like model is to keep trying to just spite everybody that's coming up. But maybe I'm not in tune with
Yeah.
the youth.
I
Apparently,
No,
don't
honestly,
know.
It feels like honestly the rhetoric from the other side was, oh, if you think you can do better, then prove it, do better. They did this time. We don't know if next time around they're like, oh, well, we did better. Maybe they actually show us views, which they don't do because they control that on their platform. We'll see what happens next, right? And honestly, it's just going to be like, when you got money involved, some people's get into a dick measuring contest, and that's why, it might happen again for the hell of it, right?
That's
Because
true.
let's be real, though, both still benefited from this. It's got a lot more
The
eyes on
sport
the
did
sport.
for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, ADCC giving away their first round, they did show their cards. So they did show how many that they do attract at that time. So that was the first time I really got intel on what the drawing power is for ADCC. And honestly, 232K is not bad. It's just, it's a different conversation than that. Because I went to my friends who I work with in TV and I was like, yo, can I tell you guys the numbers they got? And all of my friends unilaterally, who all work in TV, said, yeah, that'll work. That would get you some distribution deals. And I'm like, I know it's close. It's right there. So it's just a matter of what the next steps are. And maybe they want to continue doing it independently, but it's right there. And I felt so good. And picking the right week too, because it's a dead zone in August. Like once football comes back in, it's hard to get traction. But if you pick those off parts of football, you could do very, very well and be on an even level, especially in the demo that we're strongest in.
So Ryan, I mean, I know you don't have a whole lot of time left for us, and I really appreciate you giving us all the time you have.
Yeah.
Hey man, just maybe you could encapsulate your whole experience at ADCC and just the time getting here, because like those. The post you made on Instagram was epic. It was beautiful. It was just
I want to make a comeback.
Your teams.
Yeah, I wrote some of that the morning of the Absolute one. So like I was still like in the middle of the ADCC. I wrote like majority of that, and then I wrote some more like on the plane coming home. It's just that it took me a while to kind of like muster up. Like, all right, time to post this. I wish I had like some more pictures and stuff to go along with it. But yeah, it was just me trying to like pay my respects to everybody that's been a part of my journey. I feel like some of the other guys that have come before me, it's like that was a little piece I was wanting to see from them, is how did they feel about all this? and I'm sure they do. I'm sure they've voiced it, but I have this platform now that's growing, and I would like to like share that portion, because I feel that's probably what a lot of other people before me have felt too. So I wanted to share that, and that's pretty much it. I mean, leading up to ADCC, it was just, I didn't expect that to go. It's not my favorite rule set. I feel like it favors wrestlers. Looking at CJI, I think that I might do better with the CJI rule set, and I think to prepare for that, PGF will help me in that direction as well. I would like to go back to ADCC, and I would like to beat these guys. And to do that, I have to change my game plan a lot with like some I don't want to give away too much, but like some wrestling stuff, but yeah. So it's a massive test, but it's not jujitsu. It's a grappling tournament that favors wrestlers, in my opinion. Even Dima, the coach from V Team, was talking about how he wanted J-Rod doing wrestling passing, that he calls rumble passing. And I'm like, maybe he mispronounced it, I don't know, but I think he called it rumble passing. And so I'm like, okay, cool. So it's just wrestling, and that's what it's always been for me. Like ADCC trials and stuff has always felt like it's pulling me out of my element. And now I'm like having to wrestle with guys and stuff. And it's like, it's like, it would feel nice to go back closer to my element, which is obviously like EBI. But like where I can feel comfortable playing guard, but yeah, so it's just been a learning experience, testing my grappling abilities, pushing the limits.
I did have one question that I wanted to ask, I guess, before we let you go to, given the way that the last weekend went down with the ADCC and the CJI going head to head, and it felt like to me as a former competitor and athlete, it felt like you guys were having to make the choice between like something that's very prestigious for us to win, that you probably like would feel really, really proud of as an athlete and a jiu-jitsu athlete winning ADCC, or the chance to win $1 million, which is enough to set you up potentially for the rest of your life if you're a smart enough guy, and to get a lot of training in to set yourself up to win maybe the next ADCC in 2 more years or whatever it is. If you had the choice, and we're going to take away like the brand names or the titles from these events, but if there was like a super prestigious thing that was going on that wasn't really like for a lot of money maybe, or if you knew that you could, win that $1 million at the same weekend, would you choose, to stay for the prestigious thing over like to potentially win like a big cash prize?
Well, it's purely that it was a target, like, and the thing is, I'm never guaranteed that I'll get another ADCC invite. Frankly, if it wasn't for Craig Jones and CJI, I might not have gotten it. Definitely not if I won the EBI Absolute. But I'm pretty sure the EBI Absolute is what secured that invite. But like Craig Jones kind of really opened the door for an opportunity for a guy like me to get into ADCC and be able to cross that off of my bucket list. And so now that it's crossed off my bucket list, I can like reconsider things like that. The $1 million would have been a huge deal to like be able to win. But again, it's like I feel the likelihood of me winning the 1 million at CJI was probably just as hard as winning ADCC, and for me it was really just, well, which one is it more important to get in and participate in, and just to be able to say I'm an ADCC vet or say I'm a CJI vet. And so for me, like as a guy that wants to be a gym owner that has been pursuing this for so long, it's like I've spent a lot more than $10,000 pursuing the ADCC vethood, rather than like, while I can go to CJI and make that 10K, I would never be able to say I'm an ADCC vet. I would, So I'd always be like, oh, well, I got an opportunity to go to ADCC, you know? And, you know, I think I can get another opportunity to go to CJI as well. And also, I mean, there's other factors with like how somebody feels. Like, for example, I was kind of committed to ADCC already based on word of mouth, like, and I had already said I was going to go do it. And there would be a difference between like me saying that I would go do it to somebody, to, you know, both parties, and then which one I would bail on, and, you know, how all of that would like how that person would feel about that. You see, like some people just feel differently about that, right? So I
Mhm.
had to take things like that into consideration too. So it just seemed like the smartest business decision, like in career decision for me, to just go ahead and get that ADCC vet hood while I could, you know, and then see how my future unfolds, you know. And the I feel like a win I feel like the win over a big name in front of either crowd would have been just as fulfilling for me, honestly, because I saw that the crowd was big on both sides. So really, it literally just comes down to, for me, it just comes down to a title thing, you know.
Mhm.
So
No, I think that's a good answer. That's kind of why I wanted to kind of ask that in a way, because for some of us, we are looking towards having your own school or whatever, and those types of titles do matter to the public when they come in, and you're maybe trying to get them to sign up at your school that you have this title behind you as a veteran of this or that. And for a lot of us back in the day it was like you wanted to get that UFC vet title like behind your name, that way it would like push you over the top in a lot of those kind of ways and stuff. So I definitely respect what you're saying, and that's why I was curious what you're maybe specifically was thinking about, because we saw a lot of guys make the choice one way or the other directly, And we talked about
yeah,
you getting that potential opportunity at ADCC because of the CJI as well, and so that I thought that was also cool, is that taking the opportunity as it came and not really like worrying about when
yeah,
or why or how, just go out there and do the thing, because
yeah.
like you said, that was a target and a goal.
Yeah. Yeah. No, and I can't express like how much I feel like Craig has actually helped the sport with what he did with CJI. And then even like who capitalized on top of that at the end, Nicky Rod, with the immediate call out with $1 million. I mean, you could see it on Philippe Andrew's face, man. The camera like panned to Philippe Andrew, and like his response was like, "Holy shit!" And I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, like this is Philippe Andrew is like world champion level shit." And he's looking at what Nicky Rod just did with that $1 million, and even he's impressed. And I'm like, now we're seeing somebody like really elevate the sport again, you know. And so it's cool. And maybe with that WWE background from Nicky Rod, like he's getting on that mic now and having that like that storyboarding and stuff, like something's going on there. Maybe that could really take this sport, like the sport literally just evolved last weekend. And dude, even the comedy thing that,
Professional wrestling.
yeah, even what Craig did with Gabby, the commentary, dude, I didn't know how to feel about that at first. Like it was like, I'm cringing. How serious is this? The pants come off, you know, like, and I'm like, wow, dude, he's really going all in. He is balls deep in this attempt right now. Like, this is crazy. Like, you can tell how much work had gone into that. And then the commentary on the side, and I'm like watching Gabby like let her leg get into like really crazy positions, and then like if I was somebody new watching this, like I would take it a little too seriously and be like, oh my god, this woman's gonna get hurt. But then like also I know Gabby is like ultra flexible. In fact, there's a lot of these like large women in jiu-jitsu that are just ultra flexible. It's weird. They just are, you know. And I guess Gabby is one of those. And I mean, to see that unfold, like, and to watch like Craig roll with her in front of this massive crowd and stuff, and then the way Gabby got on the mic afterwards And what she said to the crowd, I was honestly pulling a tear out of me, bro. I was like, what? Like, I can't believe I'm actually like disinvested in this now. So bravo to whoever storyboarded all of this, and to like the foresight that Craig had for years. Like, I mean, this shit was like 4 years coming, dude. So, watching all that unfold was just incredible. And yeah, we watched the sport elevate last week. And it's insane. When I was a kid, they said that lacrosse was the fastest growing sport on 2 feet. And it was funny because it's not like lacrosse has like been anything but that. Jiu Jitsu has been all of that. It's insane. Yeah.
And I felt similarly to you about the Gabby Craig thing. Even standing there watching it up close during the match itself, I was just like, "Oh man, I don't know how I feel about this." But then when Gabby got on the mic and she spoke about her personal feelings and her personal take on it, I realized then that it wasn't what I was thinking at all. That
Yeah.
was happening, and that she was stepping into her own personal like power as a veteran of the sport and of the game, and throwing her weight, for lack of a better term, behind this thing that was going to push everybody else much, much, much further down the line, like with Mackenzie and Fionn in the same way. Seeing that is like she was doing this in solidarity with a lot of the other female grapplers in the world. And it was incredible to hear everybody chanting for Gabby and to see her get her flowers for once. And yeah, that was a really great moment for her. And I was glad to be able to be there to see that live. It was really powerful.
And I think one thing that I appreciated about it is that you almost call it a gimmick match, whatever you want to call it. It's not quite a match. It's just something that's being played. And it was in their back pocket as a card they could play. And what I really appreciated about it was, it was meant to get your TMZ headlines, your Daily Mail headlines. But what they did was they did it right before the two people were about to win $1 million. So what they did was, we want to get peak eyeballs to put the emphasis back on the winners, the people who are going to get life-changing money.
I was impressed.
And
I was watching
that.
the view count go up with Craig and Gabby. I was impressed. I was like, holy shit! Any other time, women get on the mat. I'm never gonna go there. Hold on, let me think. Like, I feel like the numbers drop sometimes when certain people get on the mats, but Gabby and Craig, that was not the case. It kept going, like it increased, and I was like, holy shit, people are really like, this is serious business, man.
Yeah, well, they also have incredible followings. So it's like everybody lent their following to this. So Craig has a good following, Gabby has a good following. So they're fans, whether they're fans or not, they wanted to see what that was. And sure, but in terms of TV, we always call it, what's your lead-in? So sometimes shows don't succeed because your lead-in isn't good. The lead-in match to those $1 million matches was the biggest spectacle you could. And I thought that was so oddly juxtaposed for ADCC ending both nights with Gordon matches, because to me, we put out a poll, and we'll reveal these results tomorrow, but we did them on the recent episode of the Bullpen. 50% of respondents gave ADCC a C grade. And it begs the question, why do respondents feel that way? Yeah, there could be tribalism, but you have to figure, like, are they exhausted watching that many matches in a row? Did they not have the same payout in terms of excitement? Did they feel let down? Because to me, I thought it was a decent event. Like, I graded it a B-. But I'm wondering what people may have felt in fatigue for the weekend, or if they just didn't feel like the end ended on a strong note. So
yeah, I don't know, man. Everything has its wave, right? Like everything has its wave. IBJJF had its wave. That might be ADCC's wave. I don't know. Like, and this might be CGI's wave, right? Everybody has a wave, that's just the way the market works.
I have to tell you, though, I feel like ADCC's brand is good enough to still do very well. But I would say this is a very good time to look at the practices, especially when they have 3 mats going on at once. It is very difficult to create a sense of not missing out, because I don't even know. We almost missed you, dude. I happened to have you in some screen on our multi setup, and we just caught the tail end of it. And maybe if you had gone on maybe 2 seconds before we missed it, we might have missed your whole match.
Damn.
But I was doing my best to try and keep on top of everybody, because we want to see how it all goes. But it did highlight the difference between one mat, your eyes are on it, you're watching that.
Yeah.
Well, before we let you go, why don't you tell the folks where they can find you, and your IG and whatever else you want to plug, if you want to plug anything.
Nothing much, bro. I wanted to start a TikTok and a YouTube. Well, I already have like a Ryan Aitken MMA YouTube or whatever with like some of my older shit on there, but definitely my Instagram at Ryan Aitken 10p. I'm starting to do like daily instructionals or posts. I'm just posting every day now. And if you click the link, if anybody listening has any like requests on like techniques or whatever that they want to see, I got you. Just click on my link and fill out a little form. It's like takes 2 seconds. Just drop your request, and I got you. Because I'm trying to do more social media stuff, and I feel like I can be pretty good at that. So just fire away. That's it.
Raph, tell the people where they can find the best pre and post show in the business.
Of course. Thank you guys so much for that. You guys can catch me on the Bullpen Weekly on Wednesdays, and great show. We always try to bring in all the current topics, so very excited for that. And I believe you guys will see us for the upcoming season of the PGF. So it's season 7. We'll see you guys back in Vegas. Very excited about that. And also, before I go in further on the plugs, big shout out to Wallow, who sent us donuts in the classiest of moves. It was so nice while we were doing our marathon streams. And it's so funny because when someone tells you, like, be on the lookout for something happening, I go, what am I on the lookout for? And then I start looking, and this very nice dude walks in that's a delivery guy, and he goes, I have donuts? And I go, yeah, it's probably Wallow. And he goes, are you Wallow? And I was like, yeah, sure. Just bring it in, guy. So anyway, super nice. Very, very cool of you. You can catch my work at the Grappling Hour on all social media platforms. I do have a TikTok. I'm not as adept as doing it all the time, but we do have that. We also have the Grappling Hour on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, all that sort of stuff. So please go and support us there. It really does mean a lot. And thank you guys all for watching this weekend. We hit our highs too. So hitting 400,000 plus minutes view.
Hell yeah.
Was
nice.
That was big for us. So we definitely made some good strides there. Thank you to Egg for coming through with us and very kindly donating a place where Isaac would not be homeless. You know what I mean? Like they say the wandering
and Conscious Killing also slept there as well.
Oh, well, I'm not in charge of that, Yahoo. He didn't do shit for me this weekend, so I don't really care what he did. But if he was
that guy
getting something from it, then, fine by me. Our executive producer for PGF, we love him. But yeah,
shit, he's here? Never mind.
Wait, hold on. I feel like they're very different shows. ADCC is the Olympics. CJI is the pay-per-view fight night. Happens to be free. PGF is the league. I mean... Sure. I think we're just in a space of everybody do your show and see what happens. But PGF had a very high tune in as well. And I thought they had about 3 million over their 5 days as well, which bodes very, very nicely for people repeat business. And last place you guys can find me, patreon.com/grappling hour. You'll see my interviews 30 days before anybody else and some extra bonus content not available anywhere else. So thank you guys for that.
Right on.
Bonus.
Dream, any final thoughts before we go? Send us home.
Man, this shit's all great. Having you guys here to talk about all these things that we were all just a part of together in different ways, It's incredible to be here, man. I just love it all, and I'm excited for PGF coming up. We're really gonna, I think, double down again, and the numbers are gonna be even higher now because we're gonna like ride this wave off of everything else that's going on now too. So just gonna keep pushing it, man. I'm excited for the community as a whole, guys. Thanks to everybody for supporting all of the things that's going on with jiu-jitsu, whether you're ADCC, CJI, PGF, whatever it is, gi, no gi, we don't care, man. I just love the sport, and I'm just glad that people are starting to really like get behind it and getting these guys taken care of that are really pushing us forward.
Right on. All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Guys, thank you so much for joining us.
Go to
And,
bed,
we'll
egghead.
talk to
It's
you-
your bedtime.
Hold on. Yo, Ryan, can we please get one more? I need one more to get through this upcoming week, bro. If you could, that'd be great.
All right. I got you. Oh yeah.
Whoa, my